Despite the fact that Gary Gensler, the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, had just finished trolling the cryptoverse with Russia, he was not quite finished. On Wednesday, Gary Gensler, a significant figure in the cryptocurrency industry and chairman of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, did something that prompted the world of cryptocurrencies to go into a frenzy. Many individuals were under the notion that he was going to resign from his post at the CC for the reason that he had threatened to quit from his position there. Despite the fact that he has been involved in a number of big legal issues with Coinbase, Ripple, XRP, and other entities, he has managed to maintain this position. Gensler's harsh sense of humor is immediately obvious, and the manner in which he complies to encryption laws is coming under increasing criticism from the general public. Gensler's behavior is particularly controversial. It is sad that this is not yet finished in accordance with the regular procedure for resignations. In the opening of the document X, Gensler expresses his gratitude for the opportunity to serve as the head of the Securities and Exchange Commission. The more than 2,000 legal actions that were taken pertaining to enforcement, the numerous billions of dollars in penalties that were collected by the SEC, and the new legislative provisions that were enacted during his time are all things that he remembers with love, despite the fact that he was disqualified from his position by the SEC. Concern has been expressed by many inside the cryptoverse regarding Gensler's untapped potential for comedic timing, which has not yet been utilized. As far as the general consensus is concerned, Gensler is not considered to be one of the most vocal advocates for Bitcoin. Crypto mom Hester Pierce is one of the many individuals who have voiced their opposition to the Securities and Exchange Commission's SE enforcement-only stance on cryptocurrencies. Additionally, there are a lot of other people who have voiced their opposition. When this strategy is implemented, the United States and the industry both experience a decrease in their level of competitiveness, which is a pair of negative consequences. Gensler was the main force behind the decision made by the Securities and Exchange Commission to triple the number of crypto enforcement procedures it required in 2021 to 46 in 2023, which was a 10-year high. Gensler was the primary force behind this decision, in spite of the fact that Gensler has presided over some of the most catastrophic crypto catastrophes. In the history of the industry, it is essential to take into account his perspectives on the prevalence of fraud and manipulation in the cryptocurrency sector. Additionally, it is essential to take into account his reputation for strict regulation. Despite the fact that Gensler was in charge of supervising the investigations into FedEx and Binance when he was acting as the head of the Securities and Exchange Commission, FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried and USBI were subsequently sentenced to 25 years in prison on April 30th, 2024, as a consequence of the investigations that were conducted. A hearing is scheduled to take place in order to determine the criminal penalty that will be imposed. PJ Zhao, who formerly held the position of CEO of Binance. In spite of the fact that Gensler has been successful in a number of important cases in the past, the vast majority of those cases have been in the area of criminal law. The State Securities and Exchange Commission has been involved in a number of high-profile legal issues, including cases involving Ripple and Coinbase, amongst other companies. Under certain conditions, the formation of a standard for the classification, regulation, and final valuation of crypto tokens could be accomplished through the utilization of this. This precedent will have a huge impact on the future of cryptocurrency exchanges, brokerages, and other firms that are associated to the cryptocurrency industry, since it will establish a precedent in the securities industry. In the year 2021, President Joe Biden handed over the office of Chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission to Gensler, who was appointed to the job. Additionally, it is projected that he will continue to hold that role until April of the year 2026. In the event that a new president is elected, which is likely to take place in November of this year, given the approval of new legislation regarding decentralized finance, it is customary for the head of the Securities and Exchange Commission to step down from their position. Let's talk about the D5 system. The career of Gensler has the ability to reach new heights in some way, which might potentially spark a frenzy on social media. This is due to the fact that Unis Exchange and the possibility of the Ripple case being heard by the Supreme Court in 2024 are both factors. Hello, my name is Mr. Buzz. A tweet that was put out by Gary Gensler, who is the head of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, caused a great deal of confusion among a great number of people in the majority of his letter. Gensler reaffirmed his dedication to his position at the ECT Promotion and Advertising Department. Nevertheless, at first glance, it appeared as though he would be moving on from his current post. As a result, everyone is looking forward to finding out what the next step will be. I would like to know more specifically what he said. The following is a concise summary. In the tweet that sent shockwaves through the internet, Gensler offered his gratitude to the Securities and Exchange Commission for the time he served as chair. He also brought attention to the work that the staff did to aid issuers and investors. Gensler's remark caused shockwaves to travel around the internet. On the other hand, the thing that really got under Drew's skin was the last phrase that Gensler made, which read, "And we're not done yet." People were attempting to decipher the meaning of the film, and it soon gained a lot of popularity, with over 1.1 million views in a relatively short amount of time. Additionally, Declan is of the belief that Gary Gensler will continue to concentrate on subject matter that is associated with cryptography. A wide range of responses were received from those who are employed in the Bitcoin industry in response to Gensler's tweet. Certain individuals were of the opinion that his comment was excessively unclear, while others were of the opinion that it correct. In spite of the fact that many people praised his exceptional communication skills, the original uncertainty that it caused was brought to light by the fact that one Bitcoin trader referred to it as a legendary troll thread. While all of this was going on, Elliot Steen of Vanber Bloomberg made a remark about the fact that Gensler had a tendency to become involved in some really unusual activities. Additionally, Scott Johnson, an employee at Vanber and Capital, contributed to the conversation by voicing his concerns on the tweet's emphasis on enforcement efforts. Johnson has expressed his concerns about the post. Johnson is of the opinion that this could potentially overshadow the more extensive regulatory goals that the department will be pursuing. Gensler was the one who was responsible for the enhanced enforcement measures that the SAC took, which led to the filing of about 2,000 lawsuits and the collection of substantial penalties and discouragements that totaled more than $6 billion. During the year 2018, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) took action against cryptocurrency companies by filing a record 46 charges against them. Despite the fact that the organization was praised for its efforts, many people are of the opinion that the strategy was excessively harsh. As an illustration, consider Ripple. During the time that Gensler was working as the head of enforcement, we witnessed them successfully solve the problem. In addition to this, he was in charge of supervising the implementation of 38 regulations that were intended to enhance the effectiveness of marketing information disclosure and efficiency processes. Gensler argues through Bloomberg that his strategy for the future of the Securities and Exchange Commission includes attempts to modernize market structures and increase cybersecurity. Gensler's strategy is intended to ensure the continued success of the SEC. These steps have been taken by the Securities and Exchange Commission in order to demonstrate its commitment to the upkeep of markets that are both fair and transparent. Such markets are essential for the protection of investors and the advancement of economic progress. The recommendations that were made by 10x Research stated that Gensler, who is now serving as the chairman of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, will depart from his position by the beginning of the year 2025. In light of the fact that Vice President Joe Biden has made the decision to withdraw from the campaign for the presidency, recent research indicates that the political atmosphere is on the verge of witnessing a big storm of change. Marcus Thelen, the creator of the show, is of the opinion that Donald Trump, who appears to have no chance of losing the upcoming election due to the weak opposition, will most likely enter office in January or February of 2025, coinciding with the transfer to a new presidential administration. This is because the opposition is weak. Despite the fact that Gensler's term has been extended to June 5, 2026, this is the consequence. As a result of the fact that significant regulatory positions, such as the chair of the SAC, are typically filled by different individuals whenever a new administration takes office in the White House. The likelihood of a government that is supportive of cryptocurrencies under Trump's administration is seen as a positive development for digital assets. Due to the fact that D's research reveals that critical regulatory positions have a tendency to change hands over the course of time, this is the case.